Hello, everyone. This is Jackie Schwab from the PressPlay Lifestyle Inspired Podcast. Our podcast does interviews with inspirational people like my friend here and provides custom content and monologue on topics to help you, our listeners, find the resources, tools, and support they need to be their best inspired self. So, how are you today?
Hey, good morning. Hey, Jackie.
Oh, it's nice to see you. So, is it Joanna? Is that how you say it?
Yes,
Or
Joanna. Yes.
okay, great. Because from the Midwest, we say everything with our nose. We say
Mm-hmm.
Joanna, and I
Mm-hmm.
have friends that say Joanna. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
it's so
yes,
nice to like meet you in IRL, like in real life. I've been following you. I want to say it's been almost 2 years. It could be
yes.
about 18 months to 2 years. And the reason I've been hounding you, people don't know that. I've been like, can you please come on my podcast? You're so great. Um, I finally was able to find some room in your crazy busy schedule. And part of that is because of your wonderful story. So, real quick, I met you in a shared group, a
Mm-hmm.
Facebook group run by a lady named Fallon Zoe. And she was focused on like organic Facebook, building your career marketing. She kind of did some coaching, and there's a few rock stars in that group now, like a couple of years later, that are really running these fantastic, unique, nothing like what she was doing businesses. And you're kind of one of those like rock stars, at least from the outside, like what I'm able to see. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about your journey from where you are and where you are now and this business that you're running. That I know it's a really cool name, but I call you the Savvies because you know, I like it. And I know it's a little longer, but so would you mind telling us a little bit about kind of this little journey that you've been on? Is that okay?
Yes, yes. Well, first and foremost, is that thank you so much for inviting me. It's such always an honor to be invited to share the story, and somehow really kind of maybe inspire someone who might be thinking of going through a journey of wherever we are at. And yes, I'm so glad you have this platform. We've met indeed, I think 2 years, 18 months ago through a group, and it was such a blessing in a sense that because when I first started, Jackie is so for those of you who are not familiar, I'm a graphic designer. I'm more on the creative entrepreneur side of the whole business of entrepreneurship. So I first started, I'm originally from the Philippines. I've been here in the US for almost 5 years, turning 5 years of this year. And I was really in search of community. When you transfer somewhere, either when it's a new school, it's a new work, there's always that sense of, hey, I want to belong, I want to belong. And I started working in a retail job and I said, there's more to this. There's really more to this. And I want to connect because I've always had a background of corporate sales, marketing in the Philippines. It's always me. And I've always been involved. I've been in college and everything. I said, there's much more. And when you come into a small town, it's like, ooh, there's like a bit of a difference here. So I kind of decided I keep on, I'm so active in social media in a sense that I keep on scrolling, just liking, watching some funny videos. I said, I should be using my time more efficiently. And then I said, why don't I start like a business that I can somehow get out of my comfort zone and maybe get to know people. And that's how my very first journey was a network marketer. I was a network marketer. And then, you kind of learn about this all online thing. I mean, I was working full time and then I was doing this one and I started to know some people in the community. And I said, there's more as well to it. So I went online. I started following, somebody who have been teaching about social media, learn about it, and was really a student of it. I fell in love with it. And I was just like, oh, this is something that I can do. And it was really just getting out of that comfort zone. And I started doing like what you said, starting just creating, doing content, doing live video. And from there, because there was just that willingness to learn and just do the things, people started to kind of see what I was doing, because I was creating some apps, phone designs, I mean, graphics, codes, and just starting falling in love with it. And I said, I think this is something that I can really do. And the funny thing is, So I am not a graphic designer. I'm not a web designer. I have no education in that side of the thing that I'm doing right now. So everything is really self-taught, and it was like just a gradual journey of like, hey, okay, she said that I can do that. Let me try and doing it, and then evolve from there. And then it was referred from there, and it was just like diving into like diving into more of listening, like how it is sometimes it just can be difficult to really listen, but I think it's just embracing it, and then I kind of like, hey, let me see how this works. And that's where I kind of like, okay, I think designing is something that I really fall in love with. And like I mentioned to you, I'm a multi-passionate person, and I was involved into like crafting, I was involved into like a lot of creative stuff, until I was like, just okay, I need to focus, I need to concentrate on this one. I think that's why you kind of see the evolution of the creative side of just like a DIYer, and then trying to, oh, I know this gadget, I've discovered this design platform called Canva, and then start tweaking on it, and then start teaching on it, and start like, oh, all right, so it looks like people are resonating with this. Okay, yeah, you can pay me like X number of dollars just for this one for fun. And then taking it serious and really diving it too, and then learning more and adding it more that is more aligned to where I'm at. So that is the progression of the journey from the time that we met and where I'm at. And looking back for 2 years, I think it's still not where I want to be, but just the growth and just like that journey. It's fun to remember.
Yeah, one of the things I heard you say a few times, which is so beautiful, and I struggled with this too. So my prior life, I was a software development executive. So I spent 20 plus years in healthcare IT integration, and so now I'm doing success coaching, and people are like, that's a big switch. How does that happen? And I think for me, the motivations were different, but it was being okay with being a beginner, like that willingness. You said like willingness to learn, but I think it's like willing to not be the expert again,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it's very comfortable after you say, you had a sales and marketing career and you did a lot of things in the Philippines. And now I had 20 years of being the it girl, right? They would come to me for all of the, and now I'm like, okay, so I don't know how to do this. And having to be okay with not being the expert in the thing that you're doing, it's exciting and humbling, like all at the same time. I mean, did you have a similar experience to sort of coming from your old career and then coming here with all the culture change too in the small town, plus now you're working retail or network marketing, like that difference?
Oh yeah, it was a humbling experience because um, I got to be honest that ego did come in during that process, because you are a regional sales. I traveled in the Philippines. I have teams behind me. I manage numbers. I have meetings with the owner. The kind of sense. And then you come in. It's a different setting. So you really have to leave your ego behind. It's more of how will I be able to survive and really go through just the journey, right? And then eventually it's just like, it's not a matter of, that's where it actually comes in, I think. Position, we are honed into positions, into like salaries and everything. And I'm still into that. I have nothing against that. I mean, I'm someone of that. It's just a personal journey of, it's a humbling experience, but through that, I think it just opened the growth as a person, to be really open to starting all over again, learning, and the learning new things. And through that, it kind of just made you more powerful. Because where I'm now, I'm a beginner of maybe as a really web designer, as a graphic designer, but all of those things that I've experienced are things that I can put in and where I am now. I mean, I have to tell myself, Jackie, one time, like, why am I stuck in like analyzing my numbers and sales? I've done sales analysis. I've done market research with clients. I need product evaluation. Kind of think I should implement that in my business. So wherever our listeners or our viewers right now might be in experience, there might be some career shift. There might be some things going on in their life, and they're kind of discovering, oh my gosh, this is something that I want to do. This is something, this is something that I want to create an impact and leave a legacy and whatever it is that you're doing. And you kind of just feel, oh no, but it's not aligned from what I've studied, from, from what I've had experience with. But I always say this one, even like when I work with someone, is that if you just put yourself out there, all of those things that you've actually learned are key things that will really be just, it's something that you've acquired, and you can really use that one long term, short term, or wherever it is you are going through your life. So yeah, I mean, I hope that answered your question. But yes, I mean, each of those experiences are just wonderful, wonderful things that can really help you where you're at. And being a beginner, it's fun. It's really just fun. Sometimes you just find yourself, oh my gosh, like, I feel so, if I may use the word, okay, I feel like dumb here, but hey, I figure it out. I figure it out. And that's one thing that I really live, Jackie, is that everything is figure outable. And I'm someone who's really passionate with an author right now, Marie Folio. When I read her book, it kind of just resonates with me again. Oh my gosh, I have actually figured things out from day one. So why am I questioning myself? Let's just go through it. I think that's the thing that you kind of see. You kind of see, like, it's like a flower of blooming and everything. Because I just say, you know what? If this doesn't work, it's okay. I'm gonna go again and do something else if ever that doesn't work.
Yeah, I love that. I think we are afraid to not be experts.
Mm-hmm.
So I have little kids, and you see the joy in their face when they figure something out. We still do that too. We just forgot, right? So
Yes.
I remember, like right now I'm doing a lot of automation, right? So I'm doing some for my own business, some ClickFunnels kind of automation
Mm-hmm.
tools, and I am technical, right? And once in a while when I get to kind of go back, I'm like, it's so some things are so much simpler for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I forget that there's 20 years of
Experience.
experience that kind of I get to rely on. And the other thing I love that you said is we didn't waste all of the things before.
Mm-hmm.
I think learning through school was one thing for me, learning because I made a decision to learn it
Mm-hmm.
and I have to do it completely by myself. It's a different sort of feeling of success. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, I did that.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, yes, that's so true. Like, for example, I just finished a website. I said, like, oh my gosh, I did that. And then, because some people like, Joanna, can you make me a quiz, like a quiz that they can answer and then it will give them a result? I said, research and just do it like that. And then like, oh, okay, this is what. And then he said, and they're so happy about it. That is the pivotal moment in our decision in our life, no matter where you are at, is that you were able to really figure things out. And then I think at the end of the day, no matter, it's that joy. It's that joy that, hey, the output or the result turned out into something that is much more better than we expected. Because you know how we are, Jackie. I mean, especially as women, we always say self-doubt on things. We always like, can I do this one, or can I do this one, or it's still there. It's a cycle. It's really a cycle. But then you kind of just have to put your best foot forward and just go with it and just follow your dream and make it happen. Because
Yeah.
what was that you were saying a little bit? I've kind of forgot about it. But yeah, it's just something like, it's just a constant growth and constant hard work. And sometimes you kind of wonder, like, is it still giving you the result, especially if you're in business? You kind of connote your business success with your money that is coming in and everything, but there's a lot of aspect into it, especially when you're building a dream, as building a business. You kind of just want to go through the process and enjoy it as well.
One other thing I heard you say that I think is super important for people to think about is, well, you said like someone asked if you could build a quiz. Like people ask me if I can do something techie, I'm like, yes, I don't know, and then I'm like, yeah, trying to figure it out. But what I think what people should remember too is when they come to someone who's learned a skill like a design skill, you're not just that 1 hour of work, right? So they're like, oh yeah, well, oh really? It costs like $6 for that. It should cost $4. And you're like, they don't realize that it may have been 6 hours in the Canva template and tweaking, but it was like 40 hours of research, even right now, literally, plus all of the, experience that you've done before. So I
Yes.
think having that perspective that it's not trading time for money. It's trading
Yes.
experience for value.
Yeah, I love that one. I love that one, especially especially in the industry and where I'm at. It is a bottleneck of price points. I mean, especially, I mean, you're a developer of apps and everything, like, from apps that is currently available, from free things that you can DIY. There are a lot of things that people has right now that the years before it doesn't have, and we're in, right? And if someone is in the same industry as I am, who is listening, is that there is going to be a time that you need to kind of put your foot down and really understand that there's more to creativity. Once a finished product is there, the intense, the grueling back end, the hours of studying, especially for a self-taught person. I mean, the amount of spend of video, researching, diving into it, trial and error. Like once it's back down, it's like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? Your black screen. It's like, what happened, right? There's a lot of things. And yes, and that's where it come in, because we are a continuous student of our field, of our chosen field, and it's always a constant search for me of how can I be better in order for me to create an impact. And I because I was in that stage that I was really exchanging my time with the price. And in the very beginning, you'll really go through that, like, okay, let me do it for free, or let me do it for cheaper, let me do it for this. But there's one goal why I did that. So this is where it's going to be coming a difference. And I want to also tell our audience, or maybe whoever is doing business, is that the reason why I was doing for free, because I want to gain the experience. Not necessarily I was doing it for a cheaper price so that I can just have the money. I mean, it was one factor, right? Because I need to bring in the sale in order for me to keep doing what I'm doing. But then I was really just like, okay, let me just do this because I want to see how I can do this. How can I improve a pricing? How can I do? Because I did some free website, because I want to say, because so I am working with I am focusing with WordPress. So there was a day that I said, like, okay, hey, anyone who wants a website, let me do it. This one, because I was studying it. I was studying it, perfecting the process, and then I was able now to price at a certain, X amount of dollars. And then I'm focusing on Kajabi for courses, and then I also have Shopify, which I'm trying to dive in for e-commerce. So I kind of just have that variety as well. So yeah, and I love how you thought of the mindset, and mindset from someone who is creating, that you need to position yourself as an expert because you have spent time doing the necessary things, not just a service provider, because there is a difference. I think you kind of see that one with your experience, in everything. And that's one thing that I think I've been telling myself, that it is something that you want to create a certain difference, in order for you as well to be more happier and to be more, I think it's much more of that contentment as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, our this time went fast. So I'm wondering, could you tell us a little bit about your company, what you do, what you're offering, so that if our listeners are like, "Wow, I love her story. Oh, and I need this," they'll be able to like know what a perfect client would be for you.
Yes. So my business name is gonna be Savvy Chic Design. Anything savvy. I think that's one thing that you said. I really like savvy, because I really try to be savvy with all the things that we are doing here. Is that so I focus mainly on anything graphics, visual, from marketing materials, website, graphics, social media, anything that you think they can do visual, except video editing and video creation. I think is one thing that I said, nope, I know I can do it, but I'm not gonna put it in my plate until I feel that maybe I can build more of the structure that I have. But yes, so that's mainly what I do. Any entrepreneurs who are building their online presence, that they need a certain visual to create more leverage, because in the online space right now, you kind of want to make sure that you are visually unique enough to entice your ideal clients and your ideal audience. I also help small businesses, local businesses here in my town, or anyone who'd like to create more of their online presence. So anything that you can think visual is something that I really support entrepreneurs in the business, in that side of the business as well. So I am heavily present in social media under the name of Savvy Chic Design. My website is also savvychicdesign.com, wherein all the services are there. if ever you also would like to contact me, of course, I'm always open to be emailed at or message at, so that we can communicate and see how I can help. That's the number one thing, is that how I can help you leverage your visuals.
Wonderful. So we'll make sure in the comments underneath of the podcast and the video, we'll have all of your contact info just to make sure that it's easy for our audience to be able
Yes.
to reach out to you. But any last words of advice or wisdom for the listeners today?
I think my number one, I think my number one advice right now is just enjoy the process of building something. Um, even even sometimes you kind of doubt yourself. I think the best person that can really just believe in what you can offer is really you, because at the end of the day, it's really the impact that you would like to create on those people that you actually would like to help. Never give up. I think that's one thing that I've really learned. Just never give up. Sometimes it can be a roller coaster. And trust me, I can be in a roller coaster of emotion and building, following things and doing things, but just never give up. I think that's the one thing that I could really say.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I know you're super busy now with all of your creativity, but I'm so glad we got a chance to connect, and I look forward to continuing to see all of your beauty online.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate the time that you have given me. This is such a wonderful platform to really encourage your audience as well, that the journey of an entrepreneurship or wherever you are, the learnings that we actually do, we are all unique in our own way, but we always have that one goal to create an impact on other people.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks so much, Jan. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.